It's been a year since Abba reunited on stage in digital form. It was, of course, as part of the Abba Voyage concert.
Victoria, Derbyshire has been talking to Benny and Bjorn to mark the anniversary.
Abba are one of the most popular groups in musical history, having sold hundreds of millions of albums. They won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1974 and split up around 8 years later. But it's never really felt like they've been away. After a 39-year gap, the band recorded a new album in 2021 and returned to the stage last year in London, not in the flesh, but as digital avatars, 2D recreations of themselves from 1979. In a worldwide exclusive interview to mark 12 months of the Abba Voyage show, I went to the studio of the band in Stockholm to talk to Bjorn Ulvaeus and Benny Andersson, two of the globe's most successful songwriters. It's the one-year anniversary of the Abba Voyage show. It took years to create. You described it as a risk because you didn't know if people were going to come and see digital recreations of you. Is it a gamble that's paid off?
No. Yes, most certainly, yes.
Well, artistically, definitely.
Yeah.
Why do you say artistically, definitely?
Because we achieved more than we could ever hope for, you know. Seeing this happening after sort of 4 or 5 years of work in different areas, coming there, see the first preview and realize that the audience actually connected to what was on there. Not like they were watching a movie, but as if we were actually there, which we are. So that was great. But financially, I don't know. It has to run for a while for the investors to get their money back. But we're doing well.
Yes, the emotional connection, which was, we never knew whether we would get or not. But it's there, as Benny said, and that was such a relief when we saw it with the first preview audiences, that they actually connect. And you know, their intellect tells them they're not there, but emotionally they are, and which is a fantastic thing. Never happened before on stage, I think.
Where do you want to take the show next?
Well, you know, we are the artist is always there and performs every night without fault, and could so do in other parts of the world at the same time. So maybe one replica in North America, and maybe one in Asia. There are talks, but nothing tangible yet.
Right. So there'd be simultaneous Abba Voyage shows.
I have to say, I'd like to go to Australia.
We'd all like to go to Australia.
But we'll see. We're talking about it. Nothing is decided yet.
I mean, Australia if London's your first home or your second home, Australia must be your third.
Yes.
Because
you're right.
They adore you.
That's what it would feel good to come back there and say thank you, Australians, for supporting us from day one.
Yeah. What did you not want this show to be?
Well, for people to feel that they were watching a video. I mean, because they are actually watching a film. For that to have happened would have been...
No, they're not watching a film. They're watching pure Avatar.
Yeah, sorry, but technically, you know, that would have been a catastrophe.
But I have to say that Ludwig and Svan and Bailey, producers and director, first and foremost said this is not about technique. This is not about this amazing thing that ILM has been doing or the great surround sound system. It's about emotions. And we have to make sure that happens. I don't know how you do that really, but they succeeded in that.
Well, I've been to see the show twice and it made me feel nostalgic because I grew up with your music and loved it. It made me feel joyous because I was there with thousands of other people singing and dancing to all intents and purposes to Abba. Yeah. And it moved me. And I don't quite know why.
No, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? Something happens and you don't know exactly why. And I think let it remain a mystery. It's a kind of a wonderful mystery.
In those 5 weeks when the four of you were wearing the motion capture suits and you were recording the songs, singing the songs again, did you also record other tracks that aren't in the show, like Take a Chance on Me,
Yes.
Super Trooper?
Yes.
Yes.
So you might refresh the set list?
There are other songs as well.
Okay,
And potentially the avatars could sing those songs as well.
Yeah.
okay.
Sometime,
Yeah.
at some point.
Bruce Springsteen is still touring. He's in his 70s. The Rolling Stones are still touring. They're in their 70s. Elton John is still touring. He's in his 70s, although this, he says, is his farewell tour. Obviously, we would like them to go on forever. That's not going to be possible. But can you see this technology recreating gigs in the future so that generations to come might be able to see Bruce Springsteen live?
I think that's quite possible. And not only like Abba Voyage, but also AI-driven, so that they will actually be able to talk to the audience in real time, and you will, the illusion will be complete. This is what I think. That's going to happen in the future.
Part of the joy of the Abba Voyage show, I think, is the fact that you're here. We're having this conversation now, and we watch versions of you from 1979, younger versions of you. Do you think it will be a different experience if it was Amy Winehouse or Whitney Houston or Prince?
Tricky, right? How do you deal with that? Because everyone knows that they're not around anymore. So what would they say themselves about doing this? We can say yes or no to everything, which we have. So the audience know that we're behind this, we're in this, totally.
So there's an ethical question there for you.
It would
Isn't
be an
it?
ethical
Yeah,
question
yeah.
for whoever did this.
Yes.
You know, if he would do it with someone who's actually dead. But I'm sure it will be done.
I've read that you've turned down multiple lucrative offers to get back together, to reform. I read that you turned down $1 billion
Yeah,
to
so
do
did
100
we.
shows.
I read that too.
Oh, right, okay. Is it not true then?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Okay, well, this it was to do 100 shows at the turn of the millennium. But I wonder if you always said no to that because you had a fear or an anxiety about audiences coming to see you as older artists?
No, I don't think so. But, you know, I mean, we've been on the road since mid-60s.
You haven't really been on the road since the mid-60s.
Yes.
But with Abba, you toured...
Not
for
with
what?
Abba, but before Abba.
Okay, fair enough.
I was touring for years and years. He was touring for years and years. Frida and Agneta, we've been doing all that. And Abba was sort of the last thing we did.
The culmination.
So, I mean, that's one of the reasons we didn't want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you've done it.
Because we've done it. It's not-
And I think each of us had a reason why not to. But we were, all four of us, unanimous. No, we didn't want to.
I'm struck how in journalism, in democracies, we really care about fake news. And what you have created with this technology are fake versions of the four of you.
They're not fake, they're real.
They're avatars.
Yes.
They're digital recreations, 2D versions.
But they've charged with us.
100%.
We've
We did it.
infused ourselves in it.
I get that.
Yeah.
But I wonder if you... I mean, this technology could be used by bad actors, by
Yes.
dictatorships. And
Yes.
I know you care about healthy, functioning democracies. It could be used for mass disinformation.
It could, and it will be.
And not to talk about AI,
Yeah.
you know. But it's hardly our fault.
No, but you must have considered it.
Yes, but deep fake is you know, kind of different, because I mean, we are behind our own avatars. But deep fake in the future, with the coming elections in the UK and the US, for instance, that's when AI will be involved in and deep fake. And that is a big problem.
I mean, you're right. We've got US, UK elections amongst other nations. They could be the first big elections that are hit by a wave of AI-powered disinformation.
Yes, that's right.
Quite terrible.
Yeah.
Well, that's terrifying, isn't it?
And the regulator is, as usual, far behind. And it's very difficult to regulate and know exactly what to do. I mean, you can train an AI on ABBA song catalogue in theory, and then come up with ABBA songs. And who is then the creator of those songs? That's going to be for the regulator in the future to decide.
Well, you're right, it might be for them to decide, but it's also going to have an impact on bands like ABBA, like many other artists. In February, David Guetta, the French DJ, at a gig, played what appeared to be an Eminem track. He'd created it, he'd done the lyrics using AI, he'd come up with Eminem's voice using AI. Half the crowd thought Eminem was actually there. It could be happening already, that fake ABBA tracks are being created by AI. Are you ready for that?
No, but I haven't heard any yet. Have you?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
But no doubt there will be. It's a matter of whether you can trace ABBA in it or not. You can train an AI on ABBA, Queen, Stones, Beatles at the same time, and something else comes out.
Well, then is that original content? Is that original, or could you sue for copyright?
No, then...
I suppose it depends on what they use, right?
Yeah.
If you can lead it to, I don't know.
No, nobody knows yet. It's all speculations what's going to happen, but it is going to happen.
But I think there will always be a problem with AI music, because who will be the sender? Will it be a machine? What's that? Why is, I mean, a very normal question for us is, why do you think we've been so successful with ABBA? I don't know. I think it's good enough, but I also think it's genuine, because it comes from people who mean what they're doing, who put their heart into it and talent. If you don't have that, if you don't have a sender, who's going to be interested in listening to what?
But the thing is that in 10, 20 years' time, the AI may be as good or as original. That we don't know.
No, it remains to be seen.
Let me just come round here. So this is ChatGPT, which obviously you will know about. If I put in here, write a song in the style of ABBA. Okay, verse 1. I thought I had it all with you by my side, but then you walked away and my heart just died. I search for you in every crowd. I hear you calling out my name, but you're not there. It's so unfair. I'm lost in this endless game.
I would say that's from a lyrical point.
Yeah. But I wonder, could you not see this AI as a hugely positive thing? Because it is going to open up, people are going to be able to make music without having any songwriting ability, without having any musical talent, without being able to play the piano, and yet they will be able to create music. You could argue that is the great democratization of music.
Yeah, yeah. But what happens if you have an AI as a tool? You train an AI model on all the best tangos in the world, because you're going to write a tango. And it comes up with something, and maybe parts of it is good, and you tweak the other parts until you think you have, oh, I love this tango, this is a good tango. And who is then the writer of this song? It is the one who tweaked.
Yes.
Obviously. And I think that's how AI will be used, at least in the beginning, by songwriters.
And how do you feel about that?
I don't know what I feel about that. It's going to happen, and there's nothing we can do.
Ed Sheeran recently won 2 copyright cases. He was accused of ripping off other artists' hits. He said, there are only so many notes and very few chords used in pop music. Coincidence is bound to happen if 60,000 songs are being released every day on Spotify. That's 22 million songs a year. Do you think he's got a point?
What songs are those? 22 million songs a year?
That's what he says.
How many of them have you heard?
Oh, not
4?
Yeah, possibly.
So I don't get those numbers. No. So anyone can just, put something on Spotify.
But he's saying there's only so many notes, there's only so many chords.
Yes, by coincidence, it's bound to happen.
Yes, and so he believes that baseless claims are damaging songwriting. Do you?
Yeah, if you reverse that, if you have an algorithm searching those 22 million songs for something that looks like the new Ed Sheeran song, that could possibly happen, and then it would be completely wrong. So I agree. I actually agree with him that mistakes are or such copies are bound to be made by coincidence.
Do you worry about the future of songwriting?
Not really.
No.
One does what one has to do, you know?
What does that
It's as
mean?
easy. It means you do as good as you can at any moment. Try to achieve as much as possible for every new piece of music. There's nothing else to do. Someone wants to go ahead and do an AI version of everything. What can we do about it, us songwriters? We can just go on being human. And maybe we should tell people that this is a song not written by AI.
Well, that's interesting that you say that,
Yeah.
because Sting told the BBC recently that the building blocks of music belong to us, to human beings. That's going to be a battle we all have to fight in the next couple of years, defending our human capital against AI. Is he right?
That means that we have to know when the AI is the writer of a song. We have to know in every aspect. We need to know. So when we look at YouTube, it has to say AI somewhere, and that is the only solution, I think.
So
People need to know.
music lovers know what they're listening to and whether
That
it's an
should
original.
not be totally impossible, should it?
No.
Your music has obviously stood the test of time, which is testament to the four of you. And we live in a world now where art, music, lyrics, books are being kind of reappraised through the filter of the modern world. In that spirit, I was struck by the fact that Does Your Mother Know in Mamma Mia is sung by a woman.
Yes.
And I wanted you to explain your thinking behind that.
Well, you should ask Philida Lloyd and Catherine Johnson, who came up with that idea.
Okay. What do you think of the idea?
It's great. That woman at that time is singing that song because of a silly bar boy who has, been flirting with her. And it's excellent. I think it's a good idea.
When I saw the first preview of Mamma Mia, the musical, I was feeling, they're making fun of us here, right?
Really?
But I didn't mind, because it's done with such a good heart, like this song, for example. So I think they did a terrific job.
But do you think it's fair to reappraise books, art, music from decades ago through the prism of the standards we have now?
You mean talk about that they're changing the words in Roald Dahl's books and stuff? I don't think so. I should leave them as they are, see them for what they are, and for what time they were released.
Yeah, we can take that.
Yeah.
I think.
Eurovision will be here in Sweden next year. 50 years, as you know, you don't need me to remind you, since you won it with Waterloo. There is already a clamour for the four of you to reunite on stage, in person, not the avatars.
You want to make a bet?
Are you considering it?
No.
Seriously?
Seriously, no. No way.
Why?
Well, I don't want to, and if I don't want to, they won't go. It's the same for all four of us. Someone says no, it's a no.
Yeah. And yes, that's how it works.
Okay.
You want to go? Yeah, you were in this one, yeah.
No.
You will disappoint
He likes to be on telly.
many people.
But,
No, we're not going to go there.
You're not even going to consider it?
No.
No.
Okay. If you were asked, would you write Sweden's entry?
No.
No.
Okay. Sweden's hosted the contest 6 times, 3 in Stockholm, 3 elsewhere. Should it be in Stockholm again or somewhere
I
else?
think so.
Yeah.
It's
Why?
the place to be.
Why?
Because it's the most beautiful city in this country. and we have the infrastructure, and they'd be good. They would be good if they have it in Stockholm.
I think so. We could celebrate 50 years of Abba without us being on stage, but anyway. And our hometown is Stockholm.
Okay.
So there are many reasons.
I'm sure you heard that the hometown of Ukraine's Eurovision act was hit by Russian missiles just moments before they took to the stage in Liverpool. That's according to Ukrainian officials. I mean, first of all, what do you think of that?
What a nasty thing to do.
Yeah.
To show what?
Then and it means he doesn't understand. I mean, that only solidifies the union behind Ukraine. That's what it does. And he thinks it'll split us up. And it's the other way around. So it's so stupid at the same time.
And it also shows, I suppose, that Eurovision is not just its own bubble. It has wider ramifications.
Yes, it does.
Did you know that it's reported that President Putin likes Abba? He likes your music.
Oh, good.
Really?
I don't mind. Who cares? We can't. How can we decide who's going to like what we've done?
No, that's not possible. I don't know what to think about that.
Well,
Most people think that listening to Abba makes them kinder and more open.
Well, maybe it has. He would have been worse otherwise, yeah.
Yes.
Tribute act Bjorn and Benny say they performed a private gig for him back in 2009.
Oh, really? Okay.
You credit the LGBTQ plus community for underpinning your comeback. I want to ask you, how did 4 heterosexual people become icons for the gay community?
That is a good question.
Yeah, I have no idea.
No, I never understood that. And I was guest editor at Radio 4 this Christmas, past Christmas. And I asked a couple of people from that community, what do you think it is? Because I was curious. But they don't seem to know either. It just is.
Do you think it has to do with the title Dancing Queen?
Maybe. I mean, it's the music, it's
I
the,
think
it's the fact that people can relate to
I think it's the ladies too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
They're like opera divas in a way, you know?
Yes.
In a way.
Can you remember the first time you met?
Yeah,
You can?
absolutely.
Can you?
1966.
Yes, but can you actually remember the...
Yeah. I was in a band called the Hep Stars. We were playing a venue middle of the day somewhere in the middle of Sweden. We were coming with our cars, and meeting us was a car with the Hootenanny Singers, Bjorn's band. And we had never met before, but we stopped the cars just to say hi because, you know, we were both popular bands. We said, ciao, ciao. And they said were going to have a party that night because they were joining military service. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they said, you want to come? We said, yes, which we did. That's a long story, but we did. And Bjorn and I had a guitar each, and we were sitting under a tree playing Beatles songs.
Wow.
So we said, maybe we should work together, because I knew that he was writing songs for his band, and he knew I was writing for my band. So we said, let's join forces one day and see what happens.
You were actually, the night we were playing inside the hotel in a room, and the night porter threw us out into a park just outside. But that was great.
You have known each other then for 57 years.
Mm.
Have you ever fallen out?
No, not really.
But we had that difference of opinions
Well,
many times.
Constantly,
Yes.
I'd say.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter, because what we've achieved together, you know, keeps us together, I think.
Yeah.
We've shared so many things. Goes for the ladies too, I think, Frida and Agneta. So, no, we're good.
Yeah. It's fantastic, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
57 years.
Yeah, it is astonishing.
And you think about Oasis or others who...
Well, the Stones have been
out.
doing quite well.
Yes, yes.
Some of them.
Why do you think this friendship has endured?
Partly because it started really as a friendship. We, you know, spent so much time together, and we met the ladies as well. But also professionally, because we never kind of stood still, always wanted to write new stuff, find new things. And we find that in each other. I think that none of us has stagnated, which so often happens in songwriting duos.
And also, we rarely meet. Well, we meet like every week, but that's about work.
Yes.
But we don't socialize. We don't go out for dinners or visit each other's homes and have a drink. So no, we don't.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for talking to us. Bjorn and Benny, Benny Anderson, we really appreciate it. Tack så mycket.
Thank you.